You know, I thought it was a bad idea to keep the border open. The one nurse refused to come in the room. She came to the glass and she wanted me to take my vitals by myself. But
What would you say to your Barbadian people? What message would you like to extend to them?
I would say
You're in Canada
yeah,
and you are on social media.
yeah,
You're a Barbadian and you
yeah,
see all the things that are happening in Barbados.
yeah.
As a Bajan living abroad, how do you feel about the news that you're seeing coming out of Barbados and how Barbadians are handling it, how government is handling it, and how does that make
I
you feel?
I'm torn really because at first it looks like a very calculated, a very precision intellectual operation. And I like the idea of I was complaining a lot online about them not about them keeping the borders open because Barbados is very densely populated. We are very Lyman culture, always over at somebody's house. You know, I thought it was a bad idea to keep the border open. But when they transition to everybody that comes to Barbados has to go into a place for 14 days, like mandatory quarantine. That seems like a measured middle ground that made sense to me because that would deter people that come into Barbados for shits and giggles because you're giving up 14 days of vacation or whatever it is that you're coming to Barbados to do to finally get into Barbados. And that made sense to me. All the accounts that I've read of people that are in the isolation places in Barbados seem to be that they're being well taken care of. The people are protecting themselves. The people that are taking care of them protect themselves properly, and it's an overall good experience. And the only thing I got a problem with is the full shutdown. The full shutdown I felt was not handled properly and the blame can't be completely on the government side. It gotta be it got Beijing's gotta take responsibility for this too. But the government I say government gotta take 70% of responsibility. You can't tell people, okay, we should know everything including the supermarkets in less than 48 hours and expect them not to rush the supermarket. And you can't expect the supermarkets to be able to dealing with the COVID and the social distancing and all that stuff, stocking up, getting the stock and stuff, and we put crowd control at the same time. So the crowds that I see online, the people that so close together and stuff like that, like and Barbados is a community that got everybody know Barbados got a high case of comorbidities. And that is what COVID preys on. Those are the people that COVID preys on. And the shutdown is only 2 weeks. So if all these people talk to each other and so close to each other, breathing out each other the day before the lockdown, all is a potential that a good share of them might not even have symptoms the day before the lockdown ends. So then when the lockdown ends, you're just going out and it just seems like it's a domino effect, right? It's unfair, but the government is going to be judged on the overall result, and they're doing so many things good, but then when you do one thing wrong, you can be judged on that.
I asked a question on social media to people if they had the opportunity to talk to somebody who has been diagnosed with COVID-19, what would they want to ask? And so there are some questions we've already touched on, so I wouldn't repeat those questions, but there's some here
Okay.
interesting. So Amanda L, she says, Who has surprised you the most with their reaction to your diagnosis? Has it been positive or negative?
Not really. No, nobody has surprised me really. I would say most of the time people have been mainly concerned, a mixture of shocked, like they can't believe it, like surreal that there's. I think Hamilton is up to 100 and something cases now. I was number 54. So it's just surreal that this fight. At that point, it was how many thousand people in the country that had it, and I was one of them. So I don't think anybody has shocked me with a bad reaction. If I would say if I could say somebody that shocked me in their treatment of me when I have COVID, I would say when I went to the hospital. I had to go to the hospital when my lungs were really bad this week actually, and like I didn't go in the ambulance or anything. I drove myself there because I didn't want to. I called them in advance. Like the public, I have a public health nurse that calls me every day, checks in, sees how my symptoms are doing, stuff like that. She told me that if I ever I need to go to the emergency room, call them first so they're ready. So I called them, and the lady said on the phone, "Well, all right, just come in." Like she wasn't bothered. I was like, "Okay, cool." I went in. The people that checked me in and stuff were very, they were very like, "Oh, okay." And the security guard put his mask on right away and stuff, right? They were very rattled at the front. But I find that when I went into the ER, like a lot of the health providers were very rude about it. I found that I heard a doctor talking. She said, "Oh, this guy here's COVID positive. He's here because he's having lots of chest pains. He can't breathe, whatever." He's like, "No." First she said he's COVID positive, and he's like, "What is he doing here?" And I'm like I'm behind a screen, but like I am like no more than 4 feet away. And then she told him about breathing problems and chest pain. He's like, "Oh, okay." But I guess that's the only valid reason for a COVID patient to be in there. So then they put me in a clean room, and the one nurse refused to come in the room. She came to the glass and she wanted me to take my vitals by myself, but I can't put on a blood pressure thing by myself with one hand. And when I looked around to say, "Oh, I can't get this done," she was gone already, right? So when she came, I sat down in the chair. When she came back, she was talking to another nurse saying that she doesn't want to go in and all that stuff. And I understand that as a healthcare provider, it doesn't mean that you're fearless and you have the same concerns as everybody else about getting COVID-19 or whatever. But you gotta realize two things. One, I am already in there in the situation that you don't want to be in. So you're scared of getting it. I already have it and I am having difficulty breathing. So I am scared. What you were scared of, I'm at the other end of the road at what you're scared at. So you should be trying to help me. You're the only person that can help me. The second thing you gotta remember is if that's how you're gonna behave, the hospitals are huge. You can have that conversation out of my earshot. Just be respectful. And finally, a nurse came in, a Muslim nurse in a hijab, and she had a face mask and all this stuff. But it was like I can't help but think like did she draw the short straw where they're playing rock paper COVID and sent her in because it's just I had to hear the conversation and all this stuff. She's assisting this nurse, but she's not coming inside. He said blatantly she's not coming inside, whatever. So that's the most surprising reaction that I had because she was head to toe in PPE, full face goggles underneath a face mask, another mask underneath the face shield thing. She's all PPE'd up. Like she has my information. She knows I was on day 17 or whatever it is there. I'm probably not super contagious. I came in a mask. I came in a mask from home that I brought. Like, even if you believe that, just don't let me hear. Like, it's not. If it was a different person, I would have panicked. If it was a different person, I would have been angry. I just think that it is a balance. You're scared, but don't let the patient know that you don't want to come in and all this stuff. It's just it's just a balance, really. And the doctor that came in afterwards, after I got my chest X-ray and I got my ECG and I got my all that stuff, the doctor that came in afterwards, he had on his PPE, and he's the only person that came in the room casually. He just opened the door and came in, blah blah blah. Sir, this is what's wrong with your chest and your lungs right now, and blah 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 blah. And he says, the best thing for you to do is I'm gonna give you some stronger painkillers, and you just gotta write this out, and blah 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 blah. But he didn't. He came right up to me. He talked to me like a human being. And when I was leaving, I said, "Oh, your coworkers seem to be freaking out that I'm here. Because I need to leave now. Can you tell me which way to leave so I don't pass as much people as possible and I don't create like a panic?" He's like, "That is a very good question." But then he went outside. He came back. He said, "No, I'll lead you." He lead me through some corridors up to the outside, and I was fine. But like, there's a balance. There gotta be a balance because you can't be stigmatizing people for something that they had no control over.
So Lana J asks, do you think your life view has changed since being diagnosed?
I don't think my life view has changed. I just think what not on a grand scale or anything dramatic. I just think that I've found that like I've been in contact with people that I didn't know still cared about me, if that makes sense. Huh? Or people that you got a good connection with that fall by the wayside or whatnot. There's a lot of people that check in all the time and talk to you all the time and make an effort to like make a it changed my point of view about the resilience of connections maybe. But other than that, I mean, obviously when I can breathe and stuff, week 1, week 2, I was contemplating my mortality, but and a couple of nights I was because the sleep schedule is all screwed up because you don't have any energy so you don't sleep. And a couple of nights I cry a couple of times and stuff, but I don't think it changed my worldview. I mean, obviously, I want to get home to see my people. I obviously like when I feel comfortable, I'll be hugging them a little bit tighter. But I don't think on a grand scale my worldview has changed. I just think that people need to. My worldview hasn't changed, but the world has changed. So people need to adjust accordingly. Like, I just think that people just need to not, like, we need to take a step back and evaluate, like, what's really important. Like, other people talking about the economy is going to crash, is a recession, yeah, and it's going to get worse because of the recession. But like, dead people can't rebuild the economy, right? If we let this thing go rampant, don't lock down, don't do that because we think that a certain demographic is invulnerable. Nobody's going to be effective when their parents are dying, or when family members are dying, mentors are dying. Organizations are not going to be effective when board members are dying, CEOs are dying. These are people that skew older, people that skew to comorbidities and stuff like that. Like, there's a human value that you have to factor in up beyond the money and the stocks and bonds and the percentages and all that stuff. There's a human value beyond the sentimental value of life and like connections and emotional value. There's a human value that has to be factored in there. You got to add that to their math equation and stuff, because nobody's going to be effective in a workplace when people are dying and dead around them, and there's like mass graves and people storing bodies on ice rinks. Nobody's going to be in a mind space to keep an economy going. So like keeping everything running and letting the virus burn through us to develop an immunity to save the economy doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I just think we need to sit back and think about things. Think about maybe like think about capitalism and whole. Think about how we treat the poorer people in society, how we treat those people, like, and just like stop being so judgmental. Like I see people posting about the people that are stuck on the cruise ship and saying, "Oh, that serves them right, serves them right. Why you would go on a cruise ship during a pandemic?" The official start of the pandemic, I think, was what, March 14th, like 3 days after Tom Hanks got it. It was a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
These people were on this cruise on March 6th. It, none of you, I'm pretty sure none of you bought, none of these people commenting saying serves you right did not buy no toilet paper on March 6th. They didn't buy no Lysol on March 6th. They didn't buy no masks on March 6th. They didn't buy no gloves on March 6th. But if you think these people had the foresight to know there's going to be a global pandemic to not go on a cruise ship on March 6th, but you didn't have the foresight to go and buy these things before they were out of supply, then you're just a hypocrite. I think you need to show some compassion to these people who are stuck on a cruise ship.
What would you say to your Barbadian people? What message would you like to extend to them?
I would say just to take it seriously. Like, as I said before, like, don't think it's just a cold or a flu. Like, I get the flu a lot. I had dengue fever before, both types. And there's nothing that compares to what I went through with COVID-19. And there's the aspect too of you transmitting it to other people and stuff like that. So you just the best way to deal with COVID is just not to get it. Like, I mean, I'm happy that I'm on the mend and I'm gonna have some sort of antibodies as the tunnel, but you don't know which trajectory you're gonna take. So you can't risk it. Like, if I had a choice, I would not choose to have had it, obviously. So I would say take it seriously. Stop talking foolishness what you had it last fall or whatever. Because if you had it last fall, you would have given it to your doctor. You would have given it to everybody in your house. Like, the infectiousness of this thing is through the charts. So there's no way you had it and treated it like a normal flu and went to work and stuff, and you didn't cause a pandemic. Like, and you didn't kill people. Like, it doesn't make any logical sense. And like, I just want people to take it seriously. Like, don't say it's the 5G towers. Don't say that you ain't got no proof that people are actually dying from it and stuff like that. Like, the hospital I was in the other day, they were ignoring me. There's 5 people on ventilators in that hospital. Don't believe that you're not seeing any bodies, so it's just a hope. Just take it easy. And the longer you don't take it seriously, the longer we gotta be on lockdowns and that sort of stuff, because then it's just gonna spread. You can spread it exponentially. You can give the flu to 3 people, you can give COVID to like 59,000 people just by going outside for a whole day and not social distance. So like, my advice to people that don't have it is not to get it. Stay at home as long as possible, and just try your best not to get it. Like,
thank you very, very much.
No problem.
What are you drinking? What's that?
Cold turmeric tea.
Cold turmeric tea. You know, I have turmeric tea here. They have them in the tea bags. You know, you have the one that's
really. This is like saved off.